Today we need to get into Jung Kook possibly not being okay after his song left the charts and what that is about. We also have people scared that he might have gotten bullied after he was denied being in the Special Forces unit and what that is about. And then we have a soldier posting out about something that they saw about the BTS members. So Dumplings is Dave. Decide hater or not, make sure you're subscribed with the notification bell on. Make sure you join us fangirling on Patreon, and let's go. So recently a soldier posted something, I believe, on social media and it went viral. Now, whether or not this is a real soldier from the military or whatever it is, we don't know. I don't tend to necessarily believe when these stories come out that it's always a real person with the occupation that they say they have. Because sometimes, and a lot of times, it's actually not true. And sometimes the community just makes up a story just to further push their own narrative that the group is amazing when the group is amazing and they don't really need to do that. So sometimes when I read those things, I question whether it's real or not. So what is the story being told, and what was this alleged soldier's comment online? So a soldier posted online, and this is translated from Korean to English, saying, "I saw Jimin and he was really handsome and his voice was amazing. Celebrities are definitely different from ordinary people." Of course, this is so beautiful, and I think a lot of people have this sentiment that celebrities and specifically BTS members probably look so different in real life and they give off a different aura compared to everyone else. And I kind of want to explain this phenomenon a little bit because there's various reasons as to why this happens and why when you see a celebrity in person, they tend to look better than the ordinary non-celebrity people. And I hate to say this because this further then pushes the idea that celebrities are better than regular people, which is just not true. However, there is definitely a psychological aspect to this where people tend to think someone who is famous is naturally going to be better. And because they think that when they see the famous person, they automatically think that that person is better. Now, there are situations in which a celebrity may not be known in that particular area or by that particular person, and that person still thinks that this person could be a celebrity, given that they have celebrity energy. And celebrity energy is a very real thing. Now, a lot of people think it's money that really makes a celebrity pop. It makes them very different from your average person. And that definitely does play a key role. But if we're talking about beauty, then there are definitely a lot of people who are rich that don't exactly give off celebrity energy, even though they're attractive. And so we've seen so many celebrities who were really beautiful before they became famous. And that's how they became famous, for being so beautiful. And then after they became super famous, they just seemed like a different person. They give off a completely different energy. So it's not just beauty, and it's not just having enough money to make yourself beautiful. A celebrity's job is to be well liked. That's really their entire thing. So I like to compare it to an amateur making a pot of clay or a mug or a plate or something versus a professional doing it. An amateur version is going to be a lot more lumpy and less polished looking, where the professional version is going to look like it's been made by a machine, even though it was made by hand. I would describe the celebrity energy to be kind of like that, where they just feel more professional, they feel more polished, and when a celebrity's job is to be well liked, they're almost more well liked than the average person because they're trained on how to stand, how to talk, how to be charming. Also, when you're a dancer, when you're a singer, when you're a model, such as Jimin is, all of those aspects are going to be better than most people. So how Jimin moves is going to be better because he is a dancer and, his job is to move, and how he models, how he looks, his skin and all that stuff is going to be glowing, and then the way he talks is going to be better than everyone else because he knows how to manipulate his voice. So just things like that. And I want to say that these are things that even if the celebrity one day isn't famous anymore, those attributes and those things that they do are going to be things that will carry with them for the rest of their lives. Of course, speaking of relevancy and all that stuff, Jung Kook and J-Hope's relevancy have come into question. So what happened and why? Well, recently, if you're not aware, J-Hope released a song. The song featured Jung Kook in it, and it was on the charts and shot right up in the charts very quickly within the first day. I think the song peaked at number 39 or something. I think according to what I was reading online, it never really reached number 1, but I'm not entirely sure. It could have, and people just didn't talk about it, or I don't know. Now, a lot of news sites were reporting on this song not being number 1, and people were reporting on specifically the relevancy of the two members, which I don't like that term, and I don't like people talking about someone's relevance because, is this a conversation that people have in other jobs? It's just very cruel if someone potentially already upset over the performance of whatever they created to just read articles that their career is over. But people were specifically saying because the song kind of disappeared in the charts after the first day, something that a lot of celebrities know and something that a lot of people in the industry know is that fame is really fickle and it's not really anything to specifically chase after. Of course, fame is something that you're going to want to advance your career and to move forward, but it's not something that you should be chasing because it goes away, and it has gone away in history to every single artist ever and will go away continuously to every artist no matter how famous they become. I say this because just as it can go away, it can also come too. And so really the relevancy relies on the content itself. So let's say, for example, the song didn't chart well. And again, I'm not entirely sure whether it did or didn't, but let's say it didn't. That doesn't mean that the career is over. It just means that when they release another song and a new song, and that new song is better and people connect to it better, that they will be back up on the charts again. To go as far as to say their relevancy is disappearing or dissipating makes no sense, because the relevancy relies on the content itself. And the thing is, the news articles and the people who talk about this, they know what they're doing. They know that relevancy and fame is fickle and that it comes and goes based on the content, not of the person. But they're only reporting it this way because that's what the public likes to think. And the reason why I say news sites know this best is because news comes in cycles and news comes in waves. And so when there's a lot of news going on and there's a lot of really either tragic or monumental things that are happening and things that are worth reporting on, that specific news site will get such extremely high ratings. When there are slow news days and slow news years, you'll see that that specific news site will dip in ratings. And so anyone reporting on this specific news, and so is anyone that is reporting in a specific news site, they're not relevant anymore? No, because it's news. But now they're insinuating artists, saying, oh, if they go through ups and downs in their career, just like every other person, every other company would, that their relevance is in question and that their career is in question. People like to report on the downfall of celebrities. I think people like to see celebrities fail because it makes them seem more human, and it makes the readers or the audience really feel good about their own lives to see a celebrity not do well. And that's the part that's really messed up, right? Because in no other career are there people, and hundreds of thousands of people, rooting for the downfall of your career. Not only are there hundreds of thousands of people rooting for your downfall, but there's potentially hundreds of thousands of people that are attempting to ruin your career every day. There really is no other job where people are actively trying to sabotage you. This is with every public figure and celebrity. This is not just BTS, regardless of what the BTS community might think. Now, there are some rumors going around what Jung Kook is doing now versus what Jung Kook said he wanted to do. So not too long ago, there was this BTS Festa or live stream that came out where Jung Kook talked about wanting to be in the Special Forces unit. He obviously knew that he would enlist one day, so he wanted to talk about what position he would want to take. Later, when he enlisted, it was believed that he would not get the chance to do that because he wanted tattoos. So apparently, you're allegedly not allowed to get promoted in the military if you have tattoos or those sorts of things. Of course, my opinion on that is that's stupid. Having tattoos or having any of those sorts of things does not change the ability to be a higher up or an officer, but whatever, that is their decision. Now, it was believed that recently he was announced that he was a chef in the military. And there was a lot of people who had opinions about this, saying that a chef is being demoted. It's downgrading. And other people said that he clearly wanted to be something else. But because of the tattoos, he's only allowed to do something like being a chef. Now, a couple of things here. The first thing that I want to mention is people's interests and stuff change. So he could have said it in passing during the live stream, like that it would be cool to be in this special force unit or whatever, and then not really ever think about it ever again. But people in the community remember every single tiny little thing that he says, so they bring it up like, oh, he wanted to do this, when in reality, he might not even care to do it anymore. People changed this live stream or festa years ago, and he's never really brought it up again since then. So I doubt he really even thought about that. So people are pulling him online over this. So people are bullying him online about this, and that he is a quote-unquote failure for not being in the Special Forces unit, even though he probably may or may not still want to do that. And other people are scared that he might get bullied in the military for that. But a lot of people can't make it to the Special Forces unit. So I don't know if there would be any bullying going on with that. I think people will be fine with it. I think at this point in his career and how he feels about being in the military, I think he just wants to get it done. Not really thinking about it anymore. So I think he felt like maybe being a chef is probably the easiest thing to do, and he probably just wants to do that. Let me know what you think. Make sure you check out Patreon for more videos. Link down below. Thank you. Just leave the comments right here. Love you. Bye.